Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Be Money Wiser talk today. We thank God so much for this week. We thank God for everything that we've been able to accomplish this week. And we pray that as we continue the struggle of handling the COVID-19 virus, we may always be vigilant to remember to wash our hands, keep a good social distance from people we are interacting with, and basically let us try to stay safe. We pray that all the discussions that we'll have today may lead us into the right direction to improve something in our lives and positively see the change that we seek to see in others, starting with ourselves. We thank God and we praise God through Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen. Yes, as usual, we start with a word of prayer. And of course, a lot has happened this week. A lot has been going on in our lives. But even as we are doing our parts, we remind you, especially people who try to be money wiser, not to forget God, not to forget to put God first. And of course, do your best. Do your best, but trust in God for the rest. Yeah. So, welcome to our session today. Yes, of course, Be Money Wiser continues to post these clips every Sunday. You ought to join us every Sunday at 3 p.m. To listen to a point or two. Some of these things are things you may already know, but of course, we just give you the reminder and to keep this discussion going so that we are able to continue improving and progressing on something in our lives. Every week should be a step ahead in our lives and to improve something in our lives. So, yes, at Be Money Wiser, you can access the piggy banks and eggy banks for you to value your little monies and, of course, to save your money with a purpose. And we encourage all of you that have got these piggy banks that when your bank is full and you may not have a plan yet, carry this money and take it to a regulated financial institution so that you can carry on your discipline of saving. Of course, we are in a tough time where most of us do not even want to hear the word saving. But ladies and gentlemen, it needs to be part of you. It needs to be part and parcel of everything you're doing. However tight things are, live a modest kind of way of life. Live modestly and try to save even the little that you're able to save. And of course, we recommend that you start with 10%, meaning like for every $10 you earn, at least save $1. Keep something aside. For every 10,000 shillings you earn, at least keep 1,000 shillings. So that as the savings accumulate, you always have that cushion in case of an emergency and in case you really need money to fall back on. And of course, for those that can, live your lives a little bit more deliberately, saving with a purpose. Now, for the organizations that would require us to come in, support you, support your staff, support individuals in your, your groups and etc., you can always contact us, and the contacts are on our Facebook page. So today, we're going to talk about shattering the glass ceiling. Our topic for today is shattering the glass ceiling. Now, this week, a lot has happened, and by the time I thought that it would be necessary for us to talk about this, there are a number of events that have happened that I felt we needed to carry on this discussion and see how best we can help each other make sound decisions with our money. I can see Tho from South Sudan. Thank you so much for listening in, and I'm hoping what we are discussing today can enable you to improve something in your life. Okay, so what is the glass ceiling? Now, there are so many ways of looking at it. There are so many ways of defining it. But for purposes of our discussion and to simplify it for us, we shall consider it as an invisible barrier stopping you from moving ahead in your life. That invisible barrier, what is it that is stopping us from moving from where we are to the next level? From where we have been for the past 5 years. You've been doing that same thing, the same way. what is that barrier that is stopping us from moving to the next level? So I was having a discussion with the Be Money Wiser member this week, and we're generally looking at aspects that normally stop us from progressing to the next level. And of course, that encouraged me to also share this with you, and for us to have a better understanding of what can we do in our lives that can enable us to move to the next level and the next level and the next. Now, you find that normally these the glass ceilings in our lives are from various sources. Sometimes it can be the society in which you live. That's why you see that in some communications on social media, news, and the various sources of information that you may have, there are some barriers that are in different societies for different reasons. Like, for example, it can be a barrier that stops women from reaching a certain level of maybe in their careers. It can be a barrier against possibly age. It can be a barrier against your competencies. Are you able to do certain tasks compared to others? Are you knowledgeable enough? Things of the sort. So there are various barriers that can hinder you from moving from one level to the next. But the question for us today is, what can we do about it? How can we break through and move our lives to the next level in spite of the challenges and the barriers that may be stopping us from moving us to the next level? So I'll start off by looking at our first point for today is every ceiling when reached becomes a floor. So you find that normally the barriers in our career growth they seem to be ceilings, the so-called glass ceilings we are looking at today, those barriers. And then you find that if you conform, if you accept the status quo, if you fear the unknown, you will end up staying exactly where you are. That's why sometimes when we tell you that have a meeting with yourself, you can sit down and think about how much you have achieved in your life, but the past 5 years of your life, the past 10 years of your life, when you look at them, you find that, oh my God, you have practically been living in a routine. You're doing the same thing, the same way, day in, day out. Your life is the same. Nothing changes. You're earning the same money. You're spending the same way. You're doing the same activities. You have not changed anything in your life for the past 5 years. And if you have changed something, it was maybe just inevitable for you to change. It was not a deliberate change. So you find yourself having a limitation. You find yourself being at a kind of ceiling that, for your information, you can even stay at until retirement. You've seen such people. You can be working in an organization and maybe you reach a certain position, your dream position. And after you reach that point, you start protecting that position with your life. Like there's nothing more you can do after that. And then before you know it, younger, sharper, faster, smoother people come and overtake you in your career growth. Because these people do not believe that the barrier you see is actually a barrier. So every time you settle, normally they say you're settling for less, but every time you settle in that status quo, you are stagnating. Your life is stagnating. Your progress is stagnating. And even as possibly you may have job security, that yes, you still have that job, the chances are high that when there is an instability, like such as this one caused by the COVID-19, you'd be the first person to be kicked out because you are not changing anything in that organization. When you are not changing as an individual, even everything you're doing in that place is the same. You're not creating some kind of improvement, some kind of impact in the activities that you're doing because you chose to remain the same. Everything you do is the same. Now, when the organization is looking for dynamic change, maximizing resources, and things of that sort, guess what? you are not applicable. And that's why things like when restructuring hits your organization, when there is downsizing, reorganization, mergers and acquisitions, and things of the sort that distorts the status quo in your organization, you are normally pinned. You are normally in a fix, and those are the people that end up possibly losing their jobs, and you're pushed by the circumstances to rethink your life. So today we are looking at what is that is making us remain the same, so that we act upon it and therefore make a deliberate effort to move our lives to the next level. Are we together? And as we are doing this, we shall be able to keep on changing with the change. That's a good one. You keep changing with the change. And the change can be the change in your life. It can be the change in the circumstances around you, but you never accept that, oh yeah, things are supposed to be like this. Me, I was what? You never have that pity party with your life, because you are always aspiring to improve and do something better and better all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, every ceiling that you may visualize in your life, it can be a ceiling of career, that you're looking at the position you're in, but you're not seeing a chance that you can easily progress to the next level. Are we together? It may be a ceiling of your accomplishments. You're looking at your life and you're like, really, I have done everything humanly possible for me to do. What else can I do that can make me see an improvement in my life and move me to the next level? Are we together? Do you ever face such scenarios? Now, you find that it's key and important for us to always try our best to make like a life audit, if I may call it. Do a life audit. Have a meeting with yourself. Think through and understand, what is it that I need to improve upon my life so as to move my life through the glass ceiling to the next level. Now, every time you go through the ceiling you're facing at a given time, you're on a flow. You get onto the flow of the next level. Like, visualize a story building. Every time maybe you hit through the ceiling of the first floor, you're on the floor of the second floor. Are we together? Then on the second floor, again, you continue working hard until you hit the next ceiling. Are we together? And I'm so glad that this is a glass ceiling. And at the back of our minds, it reminds us that it is possible to shatter this ceiling. But for us to be able to shatter it, we need to make a deliberate effort and be sure that we are trying our best to improve something in our lives that is holding us back, and therefore move to the next level. So I can see Tracy, thank you so much for joining, and I'm hoping the discussion is meaningful for us. You can always post any questions that you may have. Okay, so every ceiling you go through is a flow for the next level, for the next phase of your life. Are we together? So try your best to ensure that you are okay, so you need to try your best to make sure that you keep up. Keep up. Don't get into that comfort zone, you guys. Because when you get into the comfort zone, you're the person that they can easily phase out. So what are you doing to keep current, to keep dynamic, to keep changing, to keep flexible, so that you move on to the next level? Okay, so you find that this scenario happens to all of us. It happens to a student just trying, if you're just a student, you're trying to move to the next class. At that point, like, let me say you're in S1, the ceiling in your class is that barrier that's moving you to S2. Okay, depending on the education system you're in. But in Uganda, for example, if you're looking at secondary school, the classes are referred to that way. Senior 1, Senior 2, Senior 3. You keep progressing. But every class you progress to, you're shattering a what? a ceiling and moving to the next level. Now, when you reach S6 and you have completed your exam, you're shattering the ceiling that will take you into university. And at that point, you're also trying to be as conscious as possible. What are you planning to do at that level? Now, when you enter university, you still have to maneuver and move level to level until you reach the final year of your studies and enter into the workplace. Now, shattering the ceiling into the workplace in our developing countries is very, very difficult. Now, you find that we have a very high unemployment rate. And then you find that most cases, most of the graduates that we have are really looking for jobs. They went to study, they were looking at some nice organization to work in. But after you've graduated, it hits you that it's fully, there are no vacancies, okay, in that organization. But what do? You cannot sit back and say, oh, I went to campus, I got my degree, and now there is nothing much it's doing for me. What have you tried to do out there to break you through the ceiling of unemployment? You know, I like that the government of Uganda tries to put in place all these skilling programs to give you other skills that can enable you to shatter the ceiling of unemployment, the ceiling of being basically having no source of income, being independent as a graduate from any university in Uganda or any other country. So you find that what are you doing to shatter that ceiling? Sometimes what you're doing may not even be lucrative at that point. Are you trying to work somewhere, support a given organization, volunteer, do some kind of activity? You know, most of the students we get do not even want to volunteer. They look at it like, there is no money there. When will I get money? Where are you rushing to? The time that you spend to get the experience, to support a given organization, to be part of an already established team. By the way, even if it is for free, you should thank God. Because it is giving you time to get experience, to understand how the work environment is, to become more responsible, to become more collected. So that even as you have worked in that place for some time, it is your stepping stone, possibly, to the next job opportunity that may give you the income now that you desire. But some of us, at that point, we sit back at home and we start crying. There are no jobs. No one is going to join that pity party. It is up to you to try and break through that ceiling. Break through the ceiling of thinking that graduates are so many, there are no jobs, there are no opportunities out there. Break through that. Be someone who is different. Be someone who is money wiser, who tries their best to move themselves to the next level. You do your best with the little that you have. Are we together? So this can happen to everyone. Some of us, these ceilings are in our careers. When you've just entered an organization, it's not easy for you to move to middle management. From middle management, it's not easy for you to move up to the executive level in that given organization or across the board. It's not easy. But every time you reevaluate your life and you see that, you know what, I want to move to this next level, but I am lacking in these areas. When you find the areas in which you're lacking, make a deliberate effort to improve yourself so that you are fit and able to move on to that level. Because no one is going to pity you. No one is going to start saying, oh, they have tried their best, they have really... No one is going to do that for you. You need to reevaluate yourself realistically and say, you know what, this is what I believe in, this is what I would want to do, but I will prepare myself like this. That's why you find that after you have graduated and gotten a job, you reach a point in your career and you need to get a master's degree. After you've got that master's degree, you reevaluate your life and you realize that for the next things that I want to do in my life, I may need to get a doctorate. And with that self-evaluation, you're able to move yourself to the next level and the next and the next. In some cases, you find that your re-evaluation may lead you into the direction of improving a given skill in your life, competencies, things of that sort. Learning never ends as long as you want to live a comfortable life and a life that is successful. No one can sit back and say that, oh, you know what, I have done this for the past 15 years, so there's nothing out there that I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to always keep growing, always keep learning, always keep understanding various things so that you keep moving yourself to the next level and the next and the next. And as you move to the next level, you're crashing and breaking through any glass ceilings that are set out there. So sometimes you do not even have to cry that, oh, I am a woman, things are unfair, or I am young, so things are unfair, or I am too old, so maybe they are no longer. No, whatever barrier you are facing, given your profile and your competencies, try to see the gaps, try to fill the gaps, and shatter, break through the ceiling that may be existing in your life. So evaluate yourselves, have a meeting with yourself, see how best to structure your life, improve something in your life, and basically move to the next level. So as you grow, as you experience the growth and the change in your life, you will shatter ceiling by ceiling in your life. But if you conform, I actually like that Bible verse of conforming versus transforming. If someone has that verse, you can maybe post it for us in the comments. That you are put on this planet to transform things, not to conform to the standards of this world. So what are you doing with the talents? Last weekend we talked about talents. What are you doing with the talents God gave you to transform the existing status quo in whatever you would want to achieve in your career, in your life, and in everything? So if you conform, you're swallowed by the system. If you're out there to transform, you break through the ceilings, you break through every barrier and move to the next level and the next until you attain the vision and the success that you may want for your life. Now, of course, it also goes back to the rest of us as we evaluate the people that we have the ability to move to the next level. It requires us to also be mindful of not creating invisible barriers that stop people from moving from one level to another. We need to focus on people's capability, ability, enthusiasm. Let us be as objective as possible when evaluating people that seek to move to the next level. So this is for you decision makers, for people out there who are in the positions that can enable people to move to the next level. And then if it's an organization, be objective. Stop this business of politics and what. Okay, yeah, I know sometimes in some systems it's inevitable, but let us try to be as objective as possible, because as we put the right people in the right positions, we shall move our direction, our organizations in the right way, in the right direction. Let me say that again. As we put the right people in the right positions, we shall be able to move our organizations in the right direction. So let us support each other and enable people to be able to move their lives into the right direction, especially if they are eligible and capable and have the ability to transform everything that they are assigned with. Okay, so of course this it brings us to the fact that it is key and important for us to reevaluate ourselves. Think about your lives. Some of us have been, which position can I use? You became maybe a manager of some place 10 years ago. But up to now, you are happy. Yes, I am the manager. What else is out there? So yes, if you have decided that that is the position that you aspire for and you are happy and satisfied, you're not planning to move to the next level, then ensure that every year that passes by, you're rolling out something new, something different, something interesting, some positive change that can move that particular job description you have into the right direction. That's also transformation. Yeah, you're in the position, you love it, you love what you do. You're not even planning, you're not looking at yourself going elsewhere. Try not to enter into a routine. Try to keep thinking for the organization. Think towards transforming something in that organization to the right direction. But for others, you may find that you're in a position, you've worked there for the past, maybe, it does not need to be a long time, 3 to 5 years. But you have run out of ideas. You've actually done everything. And now you're you're on routine work. This is the system we put in place. It works very well. You're just doing that. You're not adding value if you have stagnated. When your life stagnates, everything you're doing in that position will stagnate. So try to keep on transforming something in your life and try to move in the right direction, because when you do, you will automatically move everything you're tasked with in the right direction. And of course, we encourage you to grow your mind. Open up your mind. There's a lot happening these days on social media, on news, the various channels that you may have on your TV or YouTube, whatever it is. Listen to as much information as possible. Open up your mind. Some of us actually need to go back for further studies, because the things you studied how many years ago have become archaic in your mind. So you need to try to open up your mind continuously. If you have chosen a career and you're like, you know what, this is what I want to do, this is what I love to do, this is what puts my heart on fire when I am talking about financial management, or when I'm talking about human resource management, or when I am doing maybe my job as a security person, or I'm a teacher. This is what puts my soul on fire. It means on that thing that you believe in, on that thing that you love to do, how much have you opened up your mind to endeavor to be the best that you can be at performing that task or that responsibility? So open up your mind, read more, listen to more. These days there's a lot of free webinars and on different topical issues in what you really believe in and love to do. Listen, attend, participate, and open up your mind. Be current, so that as you grow your mind, you expose yourself to new realities that can enable you to improve something, however small it is, something deliberately every day as you perform your tasks and your responsibilities in whatever job that you're doing. So think about it, open up your mind, do something different, be current, and try to break through any ceiling that may be in your life. And in this case, it could be a knowledge ceiling, a competency ceiling, or something of that. So break through and endeavor to be the best at what you're doing. I think this will bring us towards the end of our discussion. I'm also encouraging you to try to get other life skills, because sometimes you may have all the knowledge, you may have the skills, you may have the competencies to be the best at whatever you're doing, but you're set back by challenges, possibly to do with self-esteem, what other people will think about you, or the realities and barriers that society may have out there. So some of these barriers may stop you from moving ahead, even when you know that it is the right decision to make. So try your best to appreciate where you are. Basically, try as much as possible to open up your heart, open up your mind, to believe in yourself more, to know your competencies so confidently well, and for you to be able to know that this I can do and I am good at it, regardless of what anyone thinks or says. You are confident in what you are able to do, and that confidence, thanks to Be Money Wiser, always comes from you being wiser. You being wiser in whatever you are aspiring to do or aspiring to be. And for you to be wiser, it requires you to be knowledgeable, to open up your mind, to know more, share experiences with others, and interact with people in that network, that circle of what you would want to do, and understand better what is happening out there, so that you deliberately put in effort to break through the ceiling. And as you're doing your part, like we talked at the beginning, don't forget to pray. You know, some of these things are for praying for. You pray that, man, God, give me that discernment, give me that knowledge, give me the confidence, give me the, yeah, you can also pray and try to get that divine the divine feeling that yes, this is possible, I can do this, and try to move your life to the next level. And of course, as you're doing this, other people will work with you and help you move your life to the next level. So as we close today, I would like to thank you all for listening. I would like to thank all of you that have partnered with the Be Money Wiser in the month of August. We've come to the end of the month, and a lot has happened. We are so grateful. We have a lot planned for you in the next month, but we encourage you to have a meeting with yourself, possibly today or tomorrow, and think through the month of September. What am I going to do different? What should I have achieved by the end of September? You know, we're closing to the end of the year, but a lot can change, a lot can be transformed in your life even before this year ends. So make the deliberate effort, think about it, and yes, let's endeavor to move our lives to the next level. And of course, let's be money wiser. So thank you so much. You can share any comments or questions that you may have. We'll try to follow up with you, and have a blessed week and all the best in what you plan to do this week. So let's be money wiser. Thank you.